Hello, I'm Gus Downing, publisher and editor of the D&D Daily, and this is the LP News Network. We're here today with Alisa Dart. Alisa has a Master's of Science in Criminal Justice and Public Safety and is the Vice President of Asset Protection at Macy's, with responsibilities for the entire field asset protection team covering all 600 stores nationwide, with 5 operating regions and 39 districts. Today's session is entitled Developing High Performance Teams, with their mantra being good people, good everything. With all the changes the retail world is facing, there's one aspect of retail, and quite frankly of every organization and every team, that's never changed and will never change. And that is that everything always boils down to the people. It's the people, the human beings on your team, that will determine your success or your failure. I had one CEO tell me many years ago, when he was brought in to save a retailer, that by the time he showed up, it was just too late. They had all lost their good folks in the organization. And it was the #1 reason they were going out of business. I had another one tell me that he had never seen a bad, well thought out plan, that it was always the execution, the people, that caused it to fail. So while we're all focused on the technology and new offerings to save the day, let's not lose sight of the #1 asset and the most important piece of your job, and that is building, managing, and developing your team, your people. This session is all about developing your soft skills, your leadership skills, the skills that will determine how far you go and how long you stay there. Developing your leadership skills is a lifelong journey, and you should always take the time to listen to other leaders talking about it, because you never know what tidbit you might pick up. Now, we all know about the struggles the retail industry is going through, but in the face of all this, Macy's AP department is doing an exceptional job with team development, and Alisa leads the effort in that field. So Alisa, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
So let's start out with the big one. I mean, it's got to be challenging right now, filling jobs and recruiting, one would imagine. How is your team doing, and specifically, how are you managing that? And is there anything unique or creative you're doing, as this must be a major priority for you right now?
Sure. So one thing that I will share that we came back from NRF last year with was looking at the job description and determining, is it really accurate? So thinking about the asset protection manager, that job has changed and evolved tremendously over the last 3 years. We're asking our asset protection managers to develop talent. We're asking them to do omni investigations. Right. We're asking them to do a bigger role in the ORC crime investigations. We're asking them to be store leaders in a team, leading a store team in shortage reduction. So a lot of exciting changes, but really making sure that the job description actually defines what the job is. That's important, because that's the type of talent that you'll attract based on what the job says. So our first step was looking at that and identifying that we had some changes to make there. And then, once we got through that, we really thought about, we have to do above and beyond just waiting for people to apply. So you can't just depend on the application flow. You have to really think about, where are some key ways to find talent. So we do a lot with college recruiting. We have an EDP program that's sponsored by, our entire, Macy's. Everyone does it, all of the different pyramids, but we also take it a step further to go and talk to college classes, talk to to criminal justice classes, and talk to them about the opportunities and the future that asset protection can provide. We do recruiting through LinkedIn. We do recruiting every day. So we make sure that all of our district directors, all of our AP managers think about, if you have a great customer experience, give them a business card. Figure out, can they be a part of our organization? Sure. Is there a place for them? And then lastly, I know you've talked with Kevin Coleman about some of the things we do with community leaders. So we really drive some of our holiday hiring through some of the community leaders, asking them for referrals, and really taking a look at where we can find great talent in the communities.
That's paid dividends for you, from what I understand.
It has, yeah. It's been a great initiative.
Okay, so you've got them on board, and we all know how critical those first 90 days are, the first 6 months.
Yes.
Can you talk about onboarding and training?
So this is a hot topic for me. I think that, once we have identified that we really want this person, that first 45 days is critical. People are thinking, and they're still hearing back from other people they may have been applying with. So we really take it through like a 3 five-tier approach. First of all, the store team has to be a key partner. So whoever the VPSM is in that store, whoever the store leadership is, making sure that they're making that person feel comfortable and onboarding them as well. Then we really make sure that our district manager of investigations and our district director welcomes those executives, goes through a very thorough training outline. And that outline defines exactly what needs to happen, what tools they need to be successful with Macy's. And then lastly, we also have our regional training managers do part of that outline as well. So they are literally, maybe remotely, but they are literally also a part of their training. So you have store, district, and region all welcoming that new executive.
Yeah, how long is the process? Is the training process?
It's a 45-day outline, but then I would say overall the first 90 days is critical to their training process.
Do you have to sign off on each one yourself? I mean, is that something you get involved in?
No, it's regional training manager and district director that would handle that.
And then they send the information to you, obviously, to review
well,
it.
it's all like computerized at this point. Yeah.
Right. Now let's talk about the long-term process of team and individual development. I mean, you've got some very seasoned talent out there. How are you keeping them engaged, focused, and motivated?
So one of the things that I think we've done a great job, especially in the past like 6 to 12 months, is utilizing technology. So each of our AP executives have a tablet, and our district directors and our regional vice presidents have done an amazing job coming up with new ways to utilize those tablets and utilize technology. Because quite honestly, our regions and our districts have expanded in scope, and the area in which they're covering and the number of direct reports has expanded. So we really need to get creative on how we can use technology to do things like a virtual walkthrough. So think about how to do a shortage walkthrough through a tablet. And if it's a store that's 200 miles away and you're not going to get there, frequently enough, then how do you keep that person close? By utilizing technology. Another a creative thing that a lot of the district directors have done is signed into shortage reduction meetings through, again, the tablet. So setting it up and having them be a part of that meeting with that store team that they might not get to as frequently as they can. So that's been a big thing, and I think that's really made people feel like they're closer than they may or may not be with their boss and with their region in some cases. The other thing that we've done a great job with is a program that we call the Executive Fast Track Program. And so we take about 10% of our executives each year and we put them into this program, and the program is designed to improve their leadership skills. Give them an opportunity to take some leadership courses online, give them an opportunity to have a one-on-one with the regional vice president of asset protection, and then give them an opportunity to explore opportunities outside of their current responsibilities. So for example, they could spend a day with HR, they could spend a day with operations, they could spend a day with investigations or with AP training to determine what do they see as their next step and where their interests lie, and really getting a little bit of a flavor for those different areas. So I think that has paid dividends for us. It gives people the opportunity to see that there's more out there, and it gives them the opportunity to know that there's next steps from store line to whether it be district or regional or even another pyramid.
How long does that last for?
It's about a 4-month process. So there's a number of different, it's outlined very well, but it's at their own pace, and it's something that they have some time to complete because they're still handling all of their current responsibilities in the store.
You talked quite a bit about the STAR Council that you have internally. What is that? How does it impact the organization, and how does it add value?
So it's another initiative, another tactic that we've taken to really help to empower our district directors and our store teams, and also to improve engagement. So we have a number of high-performing district managers and district directors that meet quarterly, and they're really given the authority and the permission to change and to work on whatever they want to work on. So it could be something that's physical security related. It could be something that has to to do with investigations or technology, or it could be talent development. So, for example, they were the ones who created this executive fast track program, and it took them, a few sessions to determine what are some of the things that people are doing to develop talent, and how can we put it on paper, and how can we make it a formal program and really have the whole company operate under those standards and make it something that's exciting that we could do nationwide. So that was one of the things that team did, but it's amazing when you put a bunch of people together who actually execute all of the day-to-day operations. They have great feedback, and they want to be heard, and they want to share what will make us more successful from a productivity and a shortage reduction perspective.
You know, if there's one piece of advice about leadership that you could give a young AP executive when it comes to managing people, what would it be?
So there's a couple. One thing I would say is you have to get comfortable with coaching. It's not easy to provide feedback on a regular basis, and especially some of the people with the most potential are the hardest to deliver feedback to. So really get comfortable with fast feedback in the moment, and then giving people some things to work on. Thinking about what are the biggest things that they can work on to develop their leadership skills. The other piece is that it's not like a one-size-fits-all approach. So you really have to think about, how do I deliver to this manager versus this manager, and consistently be doing that. And then the last thing is risk-taking. So identifying some of those fast horses and saying, this person can do more, I'm going to put them in a bigger job, and I'm going to give them the resources to succeed and the support to succeed. And then also role modeling that behavior. So thinking about, where is there risk that you could take with your career? What's that next job? What's that place that you can go to and continue to grow and develop yourself?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you for taking the time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, that's it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you for watching, and until next time, let's keep them all safe out there.